So I've received a request for the information on the best Pokemon to use for Ultra League. And I personally don't have the resources, aka Stardust, to show you guys in game at the moment. So we're just gonna go to pvpoke.com. Easy solution. And I have a sneaky suspicion we're gonna see a Reggie up here. And we do. Alright, so start off, we have something all basic here, right? Something you sink your teeth into. Registeel with Lock On, Focus Blast, and Zap Cannon. So, you know, bulky steel type. Good fucking luck taking that thing out. Next, we have Shadow for Alligator with Shadow Claw, Hydro Cannon, and Ice Beam. It's for Alligator. Can't go wrong with for Alligator, right? It's bulky, it hits hard, it hits even harder when it's in shadow form. Where can you go wrong? Plus, I love seeing for Alligator up here. Number 3, you got Giratina Altered. So, you got Shadow Claw, Dragon Claw, and Shadow Sneak. Pretty typical Giratina set. Pretty solid, I would say. I mean, obviously, it's got a 94.3 score. Next, also at 94.3, we have Tapu Fini with Water Gun, Surf, and Nature's Madness. I mean, I can see it, right? Water Fairy, good typing. It's bulky. It's a fairy type. Come on. Like, just don't run into a electric or grass type or a poison type and you'll be good. Next, we have regular Fur Alligator with the same moves as Shadow. So it'll be a little bulkier, hit a little less hard. So, I mean, you just kind of got to weigh it out, right? Next, we have Poliwrath with Counter, Icy Wind, and Scald. And I can attest to the fact that Poliwrath is indeed goated. Because if y'all watched my Chaz video, you could see that Poliwrath was putting that work in, and that was in Great League. I can't imagine it even stronger. Next, we have Zygarde Complete Form with Dragon Tail, Crunch, and Earthquake. Which, if you have Zygarde Complete Form, props to you. I have like 27 Zygarde cells. Like, I am struggling, man. I still got my dog. But, you know, if you got it, may as well use it, right? Next, we have Pidgeot with Wing Attack, Feather Dance, and Brave Bird. So, I mean, I didn't really expect to see Pidgeot up here, but I guess it just hits hard. So, I would say use it. It's going to be a cheap option. Very cheap to evolve. And even to power up. So if you got the Pidgey candies, I say go for it. If you got a good Pidgeot. Next is Shadow Registeel with the same moves as the regular one. It's just not as bulky. That's really the only difference. Because Lock On doesn't do diddly squat anyway. Focus Blast and Zap Cannon hit hard though. So there's that. Next you have Poliwrath, also Shadow, with the same moves as regular Poliwrath. So it's, again, it's going to hit a little harder, be a little more frail, so do with that what you may. If you want to hit a little harder and take a little more damage yourself, then I'd say go for it. I don't see an issue with it. Next, we have Shadow Pidgeot with Wing Attack, Brave Bird, and Aerial Ace. So, I mean, again, same case as any Shadow Pokemon, right? It's going to hit a little harder. It's going to be a little more frail, which isn't exactly great for Pidgeot because it's already frail, but it's just going to, I can't remember. I think Shadow Pokemon are a little more expensive to level up, though. So, I mean, if you got the resources for it, go for it. Next, we have Shadow Empoleon with Steel Wing, Hydro Cannon, and Drill Peck. So, I mean, it's Empoleon. Has very few weaknesses, hits hard, is bulky, even as a Shadow Pokemon. I really don't see a way you can go wrong with Empoleon, honestly. I see why it's this high. I'm kind of surprised it's not higher. Next, you have Cobalion with Double Kick, Sacred Sword, and Stone Edge. So, I mean, it's a Steel type. Once again, Steel type almost always means it's going to be really good. So, Cobalion, go for it. And it's a fighting type, so it can hit its own Steel types harder. Cresselia is number 14 with Psycho Cut, Grass Knot, and Moonblast. So, I would say Cresselia, good option. I myself am a Cresselia enjoyer. Probably because I have two of the shinies. and I really like it shiny. And as everybody knows, shinies definitely improve your chance of winning and help you in battle. Nah, it's just bulky, and it's psychic type, so it only has 3 weaknesses, and it hits fighting and poison hard. And with this moveset, it's actually hitting 3 different types hard, so, or more than 3 types. It has 3 different types to hit hard with. There we go. Next we have Mandibuzz with Snarl, Dark Pulse, and Aerial Ace. Mandibuzz, once again, it's bulky, good typing. That's really all I got for you. I mean, I think Mandibuzz is pretty good, pretty solid Pokemon. If you got the candies for it, if you've hatched enough Volibes, I'd say go for it. Next we have Virizion with Double Kick, Leaf Blade, and Sacred Sword. Only thing I'd say about Virizion is stay far, far, far away from flying types. It's really all I can say about that. Because if you run into a flying type and you have Virizion, there's a good chance you're going to be getting sent back to the lobby. You're going to be getting sent back to enjoy catching Starlies and Weedles. Next, we have... I'm just going to bundle these two together. We have Swampert and Shadow Swampert, both with Mudshot, Hydro Cannon, and Earthquake. So, I mean, you can either use the one that's going to hit harder but take more damage, or you can just balance it out and do regular damage and take regular damage. So the choice is yours, really. If you want to run more defensive, run the regular. If you want to run more offensive, run the Shadow. That's about it. Next, we have Regirock with Lock On, Stone Edge, and Focus Blast. Now, anybody who plays PvP knows a majority of the time the meta is going to be whatever's bulkiest. Stunfisk, Carbink, Registeel, Regirock. So, I mean, just kind of, I don't know. I guess try to run things defensively if you really want to, or just run it how you want and hope you win. I most generally run for offensive sets over defensive, but that's just me. Next, you have Guzzlord with Dragon Tail, Dragon Claw, and Crunch. Again, it's bulky. Just same thing with Virizion. Just replace the flying type with Fairy. If you run into a Fairy type, you better start running for your life. You better hope you got your Registeel on lock, because you're going to need it. Next, we have Talonflame with Incinerate, Fly, and Flame Charge. Now, this is something I'd run because Talonflame is very, very offensive, but it is frail, especially against rock types. That quad weakness ain't doing it no favors there, unfortunately. But Talonflame's pretty solid, I'd say. Next, you got Skarmory with Steel Wing, Brave Bird, and Sky Attack. I would 100% recommend Skarmory. Very bulky, amazing typing, also hits hard. There's really no way to go wrong with a Skarmory, honestly. Next, we have Gliscor, another one I can attest to is very good because I do use it in Ultra League. But this one is going to have Wing Attack, Night Slash, and Earthquake. And, it's Gliscor. Just don't run into an Ice type. I'm noticing a lot of these have quad weaknesses. So, you just better... I would run a varied typing team so you can block off your weaknesses if you're going to use anything with quad weaknesses. Next, we have good old reliable Pelipper with Wing Attack, Weather Ball, and Hurricane. Now, Pelipper, I have used in quite a few of my playthroughs in the mainline games. It's always been pretty solid, right? Just don't run into an electric type. Once again, maybe running Gliscor with Pelipper would not be a bad idea. Just because you can get rid of those electric types. But Pelipper, it's bulky. Honestly, pretty solid typing outside of that quad weakness. And it's Pelipper. Can't go wrong with Pelipper. And finally, we have Shadow Gliscor with the same moveset as regular Gliscor. Just going to say the same thing I've said for all the other Shadow and Light counterparts. Just don't, just take it into consideration that you're going to be taking more damage but dealing more if you're using the Shadow versus the regular. So I guess just kind of balance it out how you want. Honorable mentions are Jellicent, Annihilate, Shadow Steelix, Skeledirge, and Empoleon. Shout out Annihilate, brother. The Mankey family. But if y'all are looking for affordable options, I would say Tapu Fini, if you do the raids for it, pretty affordable. Or if you just have XL candies. For alligator, shouldn't be that bad. Pidgeot shouldn't be bad. Trying to look here. Pretty much anything you don't need XL candies for is more than likely going to be the cheaper options. So like Swampert, I'd say is a really cheap option for this. Guzzlord, Gliscor, I know for a fact is. Annihilate is. Skeleturge is. Empoleon is. So, I mean, yeah, just kind of watch through, see what needs XL candies. Go to your Pokemon, like in your storage if you have it. Just kind of like look how many candies and Stardust it's going to take, and there you go. But if you guys want to see this kind of guide for Great or Ultra League, or not Ultra, Great or Masters League, just let me know. I'm a Great League player myself, so I got more expertise in that field. But, yep, that's about it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.